and gentlemen, in Indonesia we have a traditional four-line poem called pantun. It often begins with imagery and ends with the main message. We usually recite it at the start of event as a warm greeting. We will give you a pantun. Please to say ewa for the end of sentence.
Syair disusun, rapi ditata.
Ewa.
Pemanis kalam dalam ucapan. Dengan berpantun membuka kata, pengiring salam kami hanturkan.
Melati kuntum tumbuh melata, sayang merebah di pohon cemara. Assalamualaikum mulanya kata, salam sembah pembuka bicara.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning ladies and gentlemen, my name is Grayson and my partner
My name is Nabila.
will be your master of ceremony today, and I would like to extend my thanks on behalf of Polytechnic Negeri Batam for attending celebration today.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
CDIO ASEAN Regional Meeting 2025.
It is our great honor to have you here today at this our special event where technology, innovation, and creativity converge. Of course, we will also like to extend our warmest welcome to our distinguished guests, the Honorable Mr. Professor Brian Yuliarto, PhD, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology of Indonesia. Insinyur Bambang Hendrawan, ST, MSM, Director of Polytechnic Negeri Batam. Mr. Ahmad Wiyoso, Head of KPPN Batam, Member of Supervisory Board of Poly Batam BLU.
Mr. Wahyu Gali Saputro, Member of the Supervisory Board of Poly Batam BLU. Professor Matt Hanson, United in Diversity.
Profesor Sin Mohce, Regional Co-Leader CDIO Region. Dr. Helena Leong, Co-Leader of CDIO ASEAN Region. Mr. Guntur Sakti, SSOS, MSE, Expert Staff to the Governor for Economic and Development Affairs. Dr. Haji Diki Wijaya, MMSE, Head of the Provincial Manpower and Transmigration Office of the Riau Island.
Mr. Fahri Jemi Francis, Deputy Chairman for Investment and Business Development to BP Batam. Mr. Ivam Syakir, Wityasa, Director of Development for KP, BPP, dan KEK BP Batam. Mr. Fadli Hamsani, GM Enterprise Solution Management at Telkomsel. Mr. Lim Jogi, Director of the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Singapore Polytechnic.
Mr. Feng Haigam, Research Associate Professor, Tsinghua Shenzhen International Graduate School. Mr. Joseph C. Pepito, President of Cebu Technological University. Profesor Dr. Agung Damar Sayakti, SPEDA Director, Raja Ali Haji Maritim University, Umrah. Dr. Tripi Rose Kartika, MM, Director of Polytechnic Negeri Media Kreatif. Dr. Surfayonri, Director of Polytechnic Negeri Padang.
Dr. Ita Mariza, Director of Polytechnic Gajah Tunggal. Mrs. Chaya Kusumarati, Director of Simolek. Representative from Southeast Asian Sales Competition. President of the Student Executive Board and Chairman of the Student Supervisory Council of Polytechnic Negeri Batam. and all distinguished delegates, industrial partner, and participant.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda is the welcoming speech from the Director of Polytechnic Negeri Batam, Mr. Bambang Hendrawan. For Mr. Bambang, the stage is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Rahayu. Good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. In the special days today, the second day of the Pagelaran Teknovasi and also the CDIO REM 2025. We are very welcome to all of you, and special welcome to our minister, Higher Education, Science and Technology, Republic of Indonesia, Professor Brian Yuliarto. Give an applause to him. In the middle of the very busy activity, he would like to say hello for everyone in this event, and thank you all of the guests, of respected guests from the other countries and also from the several institutions in Indonesia. I already looking for the Pak Fari Jemi Francis as a Deputy of Investment in BP Batam. Thank you, Pak, for your coming. Pak Guntur also from the province Riau Islands, yeah, and Pak Irfan also. I also have some colleagues from the CDIO partner from the Singapore, SP, and also Prof. Matt Hansen as a co-founder the CDIO. And also our supervisory boards, yeah, because we are BLU, yeah, we have a supervisory board also, Pak Ahmad Wiyoso and also Pak Wahyu Galih Saputro, and my colleague from the Polytechnics. We have a Bu Ocha, yeah, from Polymedia Kreatif, Bu Ita from Gajah Tunggal, Udayondri, Survayondri from the Padang State Polytechnic, and of course all of the guests, respected guests that I cannot mention one by one. Yeah. Thank you very much for this lovely morning. We can gathering together here in Poly Batam. I would like just to report a brief report to Pak Minister that Poly Batam proudly present the event that we call the Pagelaran Teknovasi 2025. Actually, this is the annual program, but for this year is very special moment because we merge at least 10 activities in one moment, yeah, in 1 week, yeah. First, of course, the CDIO REM ASEAN Regional Meeting that attended by at least 38 campus, represent the 13 countries, yeah, 13 countries in Asia and also 2 from the Europe. And then we also have International PBL Expo. PBL, it means project-based learning. The expo all of the students' projects result, yeah, based on the problem or the project that required by the industry or the customer. we are very keen if Prime Minister also can visit the expo. There are 196 products. There is 33 from the other outside the Polybatam, including from the Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines, and also the several national universities in Indonesia. And the third activities, we also have B2B sales competitions, Southeast Asia level. They also have 80 participants from the 5 or 6 representing from the countries in ASEAN. And also we also have a Polybatam job fair that we also cooperate with several industry to give opportunity the job for the job seeker also that graduated from the universities or polytechnic. Right now there are about 2,200 applicants that already registered and verified in the system that we have built for the provide the services to give the information of the job market. And also we have a bazaar and a Polybatam fair. Polybatam fair means the competitions across the high school students but organized by our student union and also the student activity center. And also we have a Roboros competitions, the robotics competition to the students high school level also, cooperate with the Singapore Technology and Design, Singapore University Technology and Design, and they have attended 25 participants from across the high school students level. So we try to merge all the activities because we want to all of community can involve with what Polybatam do. So we have a Polybatam Industry Festival. So we give industry also opportunity to share the updated technology to the students and also the stakeholder. And we also give them appreciation, the partner of Polybatam that already very contributed to our process learning and also research in the past 1 year. So we want to make a gathering together, the industry, the students, the lecturers, industry, start from the big and also from the small, medium enterprise also, and the other partners from related stakeholder like governments and also the training center and so on. So we hope we can collaborate, we can become the powerful movement to encourage the economic growth in Batam, especially Rayo Islands, commonly in Indonesia, of course. Maybe that my report, and thank you very much for your coming again, Pak Minister, and to all our participants, thank you very much. And the last, maybe I also have to thanks to the sponsor, at least maybe more than 30 companies that support the in cash or in kind of this event also. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy this day. Thank you. Good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Bambang, for your inspiring speech.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's my distinct pleasure to invite our next speaker, Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology of Indonesia. With great respect, we now welcome Professor Brian Yuliarto, PhD, to deliver his speech. from Professor Brian. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, my honor to acknowledge first Director of Polytechnic Negeri Batam, my friend from Bandung, 25 years ago, Pak Bambang Hendrawan. And then also member, head of KPPN Batam, Mr. Ahmad Wiyoso, thank you. And then also coming here, member of the Supervisory Board of Poly Batam BLU, Mr. Wahyu Galih Saputro. Then, of course, Professor Matt Hansen from UID. We talked much last night. Thank you, Matt. And then regional co-leader, CDIO region, Professor Sin Moh Chia. Thank you. And then Dr. Helena Leong, co-leader of CDIO Asian region. Also here, Dr. Diki Wijaya, head of the Provincial Manpower and Transmigration Office, Riau Island. And then also Deputy Chairman for Investment and Business Development to BP Batam, Mr. Fari Jamie Francis. Thank you, Pak Fari. And then Mr. Fadli Hamsani, GM Enterprise Solution Management of Telkomsel. Thank you. Then Mr. Lim Jogi, Director of the School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Singapore Polytechnic. Thank you. And then Mr. Peng Haigang, Research Associate Professor, Tsinghua Shenzhen International Graduate School, coming here. Okay, thank you. And then Mr. Joseph Pepito, President of Cebu Technological University, Cebu Technological University. And then also here, Pak Profesor Agung Damar Shakti, Rector of Umrah. I met last night. He hasn't come yet. Okay. And then Dr. Tipri Rose Kartika, Director of Polytechnic Negeri Media Kreatif, Mbak Ocha. And then Director of Polytechnic Negeri Padang, Mr. Surfayondri. Pak Yondri, thank you. And then Miss Emilia Ayu Dewi Karuniawati, Director of Polytechnic Bintan Cakrawala. And also Bu Ita, Dr. Ita Mariza, Director Polytechnic Negeri Gajah Tunggal, and President of Student Executive Board of Polytechnic Negeri Batam. Thank you very much. Of course, all distinguished delegates, industrial partner, and participants, I cannot express one by one. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu. Distinguished leaders of Polytechnic Negeri Batam, respected faculty members, students, and also honored guests. My privilege to stand before you today at Polytechnic Negeri Batam, an institution that plays a pivotal role in advancing vocational education, research and innovation for Indonesia's future. As we know that our President, Mr. Prabowo Subianto, has made clear aspiration for Golden Indonesia 2045, the centennial vision of our nations, anchored around rapid sustainable economic growth, improved social welfare, and technological independence. We are aiming to be the sixth largest economy in the world. Under his administration, Indonesia aims to maintain economic growth at 8%. This number, of course, is very ambitious, but we believe the country that wanna go to the high-income country needs ambition. We have to be ambitious nation to reach and to leapfrog from this state condition to be the high-income country. That's why we request all of you, especially from the university, especially here in Polytechnic Negeri Batam, let's do something. You have very advantages here. The location is very near to the many industry, but we know that the big impact economy come from the industry which has basic of science and technology. The industry which do not have fundamentals, not based on science and technology, they will not have big impact. That's why our homework now here in Indonesia is how we can prepare, we can design the industry growth in our environment, in our country, with the strong basis of science and technology. It's the previous time, our extractive industry, it's previous time, our manufacture industry, it's enough. Of course, that's the condition, existing condition. But from now, we have to move on to the industry which have strong research, strong innovation, and strong science and technology foundations. Because we cannot reach, of course, 8% economic growth. 8% is a big numbers. But we believe Indonesia have reached more than 8% during our history, about 5 times in the previous time. On that time, we have advantages with the oil boom, about 70s or 60s. And on that time, we already prepare our foundation of industry with the strong science and technology. If you still remember 1990s, about 1996, 1997, we have economic growth at 8.2%. On that time, we prepare very well our industry with the strong base of science and technology. You still remember we have Indonesian first flight, our airplane, and on that time, we believe this will be our strong foundation for rich, strong industry on science and technology. But, everything is not easy. There is nothing big things with the simple work. And happened to us, 1998, we have strong, strong wind to hit us. And then we have economic issue, and at that time we have to go down significantly, and from about 2000, then we have to fight back again until now. This time we just only have economic growth at 5%. Means that 5% come from the business as usual things. So what we need is how university can be the center of economic growth. how the innovations, research, strong science and technology from the university can influence the industry around so that the industry can wake up and they can start the strong industry using science and technology. So I request to my friends from the university, let's come to the industry. You don't need to just stay at your campus. You have to go industry, you visit industry, you talk to the CEO of industry, and then convince them we have to go together. Please put your research in our university, because some industry, even they are not so welcome with the research. Some industry even do not have any R&D divisions, especially in Indonesia. So let's influence them. We have to go together. We have to move together, and what you need, what industry needs, let's do it, research, let's make the innovation for industry in our university. Because the university is the location where so many high skill, so many prominent professors, they understand knowledge, they understand the trend of knowledge, of technology, but they need to implement the knowledge, the technology in industry. So I think the industry and university is the two things that cannot be separated. And this is, I think, one of the problem in Indonesia now. The university go alone, the industry go alone, they separated ways. They go with the different ways. So I think this CDIO is very perfect words. We have to convince, design, implement, and operate. All of these things have to be done in industry. We cannot, university cannot do lonely in their campuses. It's not enough. Because when you do CDIO in university, in your campus, in your laboratory, sometimes it's not the real needed of the industry. So let me thank to all of you who launched CDIO. I don't know from when, Mats, when you launched it, 5 years ago? 25 years ago. Oh, great. Fortunately, I'm late to know this one. So thank you to the Mets and of course all of you who always consistent to make implementation to prepare this CDIO, to implementation the CDIO in industry. Of course, this is very appropriate things. We need it, and the Batam is very appropriate, very exact place, because here we have so many industry, and here we have some universities, and we hope these words, CDIO words, can be spread out through Indonesia, not only here in Batam, because some university in Jakarta, in Padang also come here. So please make CDIO also in your each places, in your original place. The leaders, the top management of university, you have to come to the industry. You have to visit to the CIO, you have to discuss, you have to talk. And it's not enough you just be a leader of university, just stay in university. So thank you very much. I hope this program can contribute substantially to the national research roadmap, and I hope this scale up, can be scaled out and spread out through the other industries. And we really hope industry, they can start to do the more innovative industry. Please, of course, university cannot go alone. We cannot build our industry by ourselves. We need industry sector to build our innovation, to continue our innovation, to scale up the innovation and research from the university to be the real industry. So, ladies and gentlemen, together under Pak Presiden Prabowo vision of Golden Indonesia 2045 with tangible unemployment reduction and through increased research investment via our ministry, we are equipped to build a future of shared progress. May our gathering be productive, inspiring, and instrumental in elevating of our nation. Thank you very much for your all contribution to these successful events. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Mr. Brian, we kindly ask you to stay in your location. We will now proceed to the next agenda. It's a souvenir presentation from Politeknik Negeri Batam to the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology of Indonesia, Mr. Professor Brian Yuliarto, PhD. May we kindly invite Mr. Bambang Hendrawan to the stage to present the souvenir. The souvenir is a tanjak, a traditional Malay headgear made from folded cloth. It is typically worn by men, historical worn by nobles and warriors. Today, the tanjak stands as a proud symbol of Malay identity and tradition, often seen at cultural ceremony and celebration.
Baik, dan saat ini kita menyaksikan bersama pemberian tanjak dan juga souvenir dari Politeknik Negeri Batam kepada Profesor Brian Yuliarto. Beri tepuk tangan yang luar biasa. Baik, sekarang kita juga menyaksikan bersama pemberian souvenir dari Politeknik Negeri Batam. Beri tepuk tangan yang luar biasa. Oke, baik.
That concludes our session for today. We would like to sincerely thank you for your attention and participation. The next session will be continued by Gabriel and Adelisa. I'm Nabila and my partner,
I'm Grayson.
bidding you farewell.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Baik, sekarang kita akan melakukan sesi dokumentasi bersama. Kami mengundang tim dokumentasi untuk mengambil posisi terbaik di depan. Baik, kami mengundang pula seluruh partisipan untuk dapat berdiri di tempat. Baik, kami mengundang untuk boleh merapat ke tengah.
We kindly invite our honor guests to come forward to the center for the group for the session.
Okay, and now let's capture the special moment together in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Oke, boleh berikan gaya terbaru, tangan kanan menuju ke atas, baik dalam hitungan 3, 2, 1.
Please give applause for all of us.
all participants, please stay with us so we can start our upcoming session.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the third day of the CDIO 2025 Asian Regional Meeting. I am Gabriel.
And I am Adesa Chantika. We will continue to be your master of ceremony. Now transition to our first keynote sessions of the day. We are privileged to have with us Mr. Ahmad Hamim Tohari as our moderator today.
Please welcome Mr. Ahmad Hamim Tohari.
Thank you. Uh, Good morning, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's a delightful morning after we are hearing the speech from our Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology. So I will continue this morning session as a schedule. First, I will introduce myself. My name is Ahmad Hamim Tohari. You can call me Hamim. I am from Informatic Engineering Department of Polytechnic Negeri Batam. So, in this morning session, first session, we having Mr. Lim Jogi. It's an honor to introduce our distinguished speaker. First, Dr. Jogi Lim is Director of School of Electrical Engineering at Singapore Polytechnic. Dr. Lim has really true visionary engineering education. He has been at the forefront of integrating CDIO framework into the curriculum at Singapore Polytechnic, focusing on developing practical skills that are essential for the engineering world today. And also, his work extends beyond the classroom as he actively engaged with industry to ensure the graduates are well prepared to the workforce. He also a strong advocate of lifelong learning and supports such as IoT, robotic, AI data analytic, 5G, and also he has a really strong commitment in the engineering community and is evident through his role as an honorary treasurer of Automation SG and a member of subcommittee for training and curriculum at Singapore Advanced Manufacturing Training Academy. Today, Dr. Lim will be sharing his insight on a topic fostering solution-minded engineers, developing CDIO competency through community. Please join me in the stage, Dr. Lim Jogi. Give a round of applause. Okay, please, Dr. Lim, the stage is yours.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I think it's after the official minister leave, so it becomes more casual and don't have to be so stressed out for all of us. So today I'm going to give my sharing. The title has been changed since the first title that we sent over to the organizer because I thought more appropriate to share something that has a bigger picture. And first of all, I want to thank Poly Batam for inviting me to give this keynote speech. And I hope that whatever that I'm sharing today will be of interest and of value to every one of you here. And Poly Batam has become very good partners and very good friend with Singapore Polytechnic. I think because of our close proximity, it's just an hour of ferry ride to Batam. And over the past few years, I must say that thanks to many of the Poly Batam colleagues to have helped us to make this collaboration much closer, and many of the colleagues have become very good friends with us. So like the director, Pak Bambang, Pak Hendawan, and many of the Poly Batam colleagues. So thank you so much. And today really I want to take the time to just share a bit about this topic on fostering solution-minded engineers through the CDIO competencies, developing CDIO competencies through community engaged learning. So that's really what I want to talk about. First of all, just to give a brief introduction to Singapore Polytechnic, in case some of you are still not familiar with us. Okay, so Singapore is not a very big place. SP, we are right at the nearer to the southern western part of Singapore. And we are the first polytechnic to be established in Singapore, even before Singapore gained independence. And over the past 70 plus years, we have been producing graduates that is aligned to the industry. So I think that's what just now Minister Brian was talking about the importance of, in the academic, how close we are to the industry. And so as in SP, we have always been, one of the key things is when we produce our graduates, it must be graduates that are ready for the industry itself. So we call ourselves a poly for all ages because we are looking at producing graduates that is relevant in all ages, but also graduates that are at every age. Okay, so we are not just helping those the young ones, but more and more we begin to see that the industry also need us to come in to help to train those who are already in the industry working for a number of years. So I'll talk a bit more about that as well, why that is important. So SP, we have more than 1,400 staff. Okay, I won't go into the details of everything here, but just to highlight, we cover many different disciplines in Singapore Polytechnic, as well as we have 30 full-time diploma programs, which is, let me see whether the pointer can work. Okay, no, never mind, it's okay. So we have 30 full-time diploma programs covering many different areas, from engineering to maritime to business, media arts, design, and chemical, life science, computing. So many different disciplines, and we see our graduates go into different areas and different sectors in the industry itself. And as I mentioned, we want to be a polytechnic of all ages, and when one of the mission in our polytechnic, the key mission is we want to prepare our students to be life ready, to be work ready, and also more and more now to be world ready, so that we really see that the world is their oyster, and through all we have to prepare them, and that gives us that mandate. Okay, we have a vision that we want to be inspired learner, serve with mastery, and caring community. Okay, so that's what we are all about. And to that end, in SP, we have a education model. So again, this is like an institution that we hope to build in our SP institution. So you can see here that there are many things. I'm not going to spend a lot of time to unpack it, but I thought I just want to talk about these three areas: PET, CET, and IE. Okay, so pre-employment training, continuing education and training, and industrial engagement. So that's really the thing that underpin SP, because we believe these three are very important. Okay, when we say the pre-employment training, these are students who come to us before they go into the industry, before they are build their career. So we really want to see how can we put in them the necessary skill sets, the necessary both the technical as well as the soft skills, in order to prepare them that they are able to build good careers immediately after they graduate, as well as build long-term career resilience. But beyond that, as I mentioned just now, we are also looking at how do we prepare or help those who are already working in the industry for a number of years. Okay, we know that the world is changing rapidly, and more in the polytechnics, SP, we have a mandate to help to train the workforce that are currently already working there. Okay, with all the new technologies that are out there. So continued education and training is important as well. And in order to do that, we really need to know what is happening out there in the workforce and keep in line with all these trends. And finally, the industry engagement is important. Okay, that's where we understand what is happening out there. That's where we also look at what the companies are looking for when they are needing help in terms of maybe some technologies and doing projects. And when our staff and our students go in to help to do the projects, the students also gain good understanding, good skills and knowledge of what is needed in the industry. So we see these three as all very closely related and all play a part to help to us to prepare our graduates. And so why am I, so now I've explained and talked about SP, what SP is about. Let me go into my sharing and my presentation. I want to start off by sharing with us what I see as some of the current trends, okay, that is happening in the world of work. And I think many of you will identify with that. And these are the few that I could offhand think of. And I think the first thing that is the trend that is happening is definitely artificial intelligence. How artificial intelligence have really come into the workplace. Okay, I'm just going to pull out some facts. Okay, I cannot remember all the numbers, but I thought the numbers really help us to understand. So in terms of AI, all right, recently there was a report from McKinsey, and really they talk about, we all know that now with all the Gen AI, all the large language model from companies like OpenAI, even the traditional strong technology companies like Meta and Google. So with all these large language model that is coming in, we are really entering into a new information technology age. And so this report says that AI, they are projected to add $4.4 trillion in terms of productivity. Okay, so that's no small number. But yet, while many companies say that they are planning for more AI investment. Okay, in fact, the report says that 92% of companies actually do have plans to increase their AI investment. But yet, in the same report, it also says that only 1% of these companies are considered themselves to be mature in adopting AI. So AI is definitely going to transform, but there's also opportunity and there's also the risk if we do not prepare our students in this world of AI. Okay, the next one will be skill-based economy. I think this is also something that caught my attention recently when I start to see reports of, in the universities, some of the graduates are finding it very difficult to land jobs, even in Singapore, but I see it also happening like in places like China, in places like even the US. And the reason is that nowadays, many companies are not just looking for qualifications. What they are looking for are also experience, skills. So again, from one of the report, it says 81% of the companies that are surveyed, they are actually looking at skill-based hiring right now. And this is in 2024, and I'm sure now it could be higher. Back in 2022, there were only 57% are looking at skill-based approaches. So these are also a trend where companies are looking at beyond the paper qualification from the graduates that come out from the universities or from the graduates. They're also looking at what kind of skills do you already possess. Okay, and these may not just be technical skills, but some of the soft skills as well. So that's in terms of the skill base. The next one is lifelong learning. Okay, so lifelong learning, we also know that it is increasingly more important. Again, from one of an article that I read, and it's a study from IBM, that in the past, so in this study, they look at what is the half-life of skills. All right, skills half-life. Some of us who are engineers, scientists, you know what is a half-life, right? That something that lose its value, the time it takes for some something that to lose its value by half. Okay, so that's the half-life. And in this study, they showed that, okay, or they mentioned that in the past, the half-life of skills were maybe 10, 15 years. Okay, so those were the times in traditionally. But currently, in the current state of things, actually the half-life of skills now, people are looking at 5 years. Okay, every skill that you have, 5 years. And if we look at skills that require even more deep technology, AI, we are looking at even shorter than that. Could be 2 to 3 years half-life. Okay, so that's a very sobering fact. And it also causes us to think that it is important not just to prepare our graduates, okay, for now and the skills for now, but how do we prepare them to continue to learn, to be the lifelong learner, so that they can have the skills that will take them throughout, and these skills will keep updating. So the lifelong learning is again another part of this changing world of work. The other one I would say is remote collaboration. So this again is something that we can all identify with. Many of us now may not spend all our time physically at our workplace. Because of technology like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, we are able to have make remote work a reality. And of course, we all know about COVID. Okay, COVID really accelerated that process. Okay, because now when we now realize that work from home is a possibility, may not be every day, but there's a possibility that there is this remote work. And I think when this remote work comes in, it also allows for remote collaboration. So again, we see many of our graduates or the current workforce now working across national boundaries. They have teams from different parts of the world, and with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, many of these work now take place. A project could involve people from different parts of the world. So that's a part about remote, not just about remote work, but about remote collaboration. And finally, the last trends that is happening in the world of our work now is multidisciplinary work. Correct? We all know that, again, the world has become more and more complex. Many of the problems now, we call them wicked problems. Correct? Problems that, challenges that really cannot be solved by just one group of engineers with a particular skill set. But all these challenges, be it climate change, the sustainability, or the disruptive technologies that is coming in, this requires skills from different groups of people, and that's where the multidisciplinary aspects really have to come in. So I thought these are some of these key trends in terms of the work. And the question then is, the working world now is of this nature. As we are preparing our students, the question we have to ask ourselves is, how best to prepare our students for this new world of work? And of course, CDIO is one of the ways. Yeah, we are all in this CDIO conference. Yeah, with our partners, we are looking at how CDIO as a framework can help us to structure our courses, to structure our programs, so that we can better prepare our students. I think this is really what we are all looking for. And the whole idea is really how do we rethink how engineering education can be done, the way that we teach and how we teach it. And as I mentioned, that's how we look at CDIO as one of the key things. But the main thing we really need to ask ourselves is the engineers that we need. Okay, and I find these are the few characteristics of the engineer that are needed now in this new workforce. And of course, from myself, when I look at, I come from engineering school, so I look at engineers. But some of you could be from another discipline. You could also be thinking about what is the kind of scientist, what is the kind of designer, what is the kind of administrator or whichever discipline, what is the kind of qualities that are needed? And I thought these are things that are quite common throughout different disciplines. So first of all, for engineers, I think that we need to still continue to be technically competent. Okay, we need to continue to have that fundamentals, engineering fundamentals that we need to build in them. Okay, so this is what we always seek to do, build that foundation. Okay, but building that foundation is just one step. I think the other quality that is needed is we have to be contextually aware. Okay, what I mean by contextually aware is that they have to be understanding what is their situation, what is happening as they apply the engineering principles. So the understanding of the social and global implications of how they are building their solutions, developing their solutions in context with the situation. I think that's another key aspect when we look at this new world of work. The other part, the next one would be then having that empathy and the ethical mindset as well. Correct? We do not want to just build engineers, okay, that do not have that feeling, the values that is very important. And in that, we look at, I also recently learned this term, okay, in the past year. It's not just about human-centered, okay, but it's about humanity-centered. Okay, when we say, what do we mean by humanity-centered? We are looking at understanding the impact, okay, to the world as a whole, to humanity. And so there's this term about humanity-centered approach when we are looking at building the kind of engineers that will go out to make an impact in the world. And finally, the last quality I would think would be to be adaptable and collaborative. So again, we talk about now we have diverse teams with different skill sets, teams that could even cross boundary, coming from different countries. So it's important to be able to be adaptable. It's important to be collaborative in building solutions through these teams. And I think so. This is something that it is important, but the question is then how do we build this into our students to produce this type of engineers? So that's where in Singapore Polytechnic, we came up with this concept, okay, through CDIO. How do we build solution-minded students who eventually can be solution-minded engineers? And what are the things about these solution-minded engineers? First of all, they understand before solving, okay? So many of us have seen people who, before even understanding the situation, straight away offer 100 solutions to the problem, correct? So it's important for us, I think, to before even we try to come up with a solution, to really understand what is the situation, understand in context. So that's one first part about solution-minded interns. The next part is then after understanding what is the problem, the next question is then we have to frame the problems with empathy as well as with rigor. Okay, in terms of knowing what is available, knowing how to make use of the situation as well as the resources that are available with empathy and rigor to frame the problem. And then finally, once you have the understanding of the problem and being able to frame this problem, finally is to co-create the solution with stakeholders and not just by yourself. Okay, so these are the three key things that I thought would be something that when we talk about solution-minded engineers. Of course, there could be other aspects, and I'll be happy to discuss and understand from inputs as well as to learn from many of you all here in terms of how do we mean by building solution-minded interns. Okay, but let me just give some examples. Okay, so here I have two examples when we talk about solution-minded. What does it mean? That goes beyond, or rather to think creatively, to come up with solutions in the face of problems. So the first example that I would like to give is, I don't know how many of you are in the semiconductor microelectronics field. Are there anyone in this field? Oh, yeah, maths. Okay, so if you are in the semiconductor field, you would have heard of this term called chip binning. This is something that some of us may find it quite interesting. But if you think about it, actually it makes sense. So in a wafer fabrication process, it's about making the microchips through the wafers. And we all know that it's a very highly precision, very highly precise operation, and many technologies have been put inside there. But we also know that in all, when you build the wafer, not all the chips within that wafer will be working 100%. Okay, and it's a matter of fact. Okay, there will always be, we talk about yield, there will always be some parts of the wafer, okay, that are not up to the standard, either because of the memory, some of the memories, or some of the different parts of the chip may not be working up to the standard that is required. So in the semicon industry, okay, there's this part about chip binning, which is when they, instead of throwing away those chips that have been fabricated that are not up to the standard of a particular performance, okay, they offer these chips and offer these chips at a lower performance grade. So this is happening in the likes of companies like Intel, in the likes of companies like even NVIDIA, okay, where you will see a different model. Like for example, Intel, we have i7, i5, i9, and each of the so-called chips, you will also have maybe different performance grade with different cores. So it's the same. Now we talk about GPUs by NVIDIA. They will produce different GPUs with slightly different performance. And for some of these chips, they are actually coming from the same wafer. Okay, so you can see how the engineers rethink the problem, look at what is the problem, and come up with a solution, okay, that is able to reduce wastage, okay, because some of the chips are actually still functioning, but you just need to tune the performance down. Okay, so that's in a very layman, a very simple terms of how chip binning works. Now let me go to the other example, okay, from the small miniature chip to now to the big. Okay, to the big rockets. Okay, so we all know about Tesla. No, not Tesla. Elon Musk. Okay, the SpaceX. So in the past, when rockets were launched, okay, we know that the booster rockets will fall down to the Earth. Okay, that's part and parcel of how rocket mission is about, space mission. For the longest time, it has always been an accepted fact that these booster rockets will fall down into the ocean, and it's just right there in the ocean, all right. But when the SpaceX team, and maybe not just them, but many of the engineers, okay, who are thinking about space mission, okay, they started to think about how to make reusable rockets. Okay, so SpaceX, okay, the Falcon 9 was one of the first successful rockets that were able to have their booster rockets after sending the payload up into space to be able to have a vertical landing back into the launch pad. Okay, so again, this is a way that the engineers were able to rethink the problem and help to save in terms of the resources, help to reduce the cost as well. And I was told that for every of these rockets that come back to Earth is a savings of about $50 million. So you can see here, all this shows what does it mean when you look at solution mindedness. Okay, so I'm told I don't have a lot of time, but let me just quickly go through the rest of the other things I wanted to say. So I just want to share in SP, Singapore Poly, okay, how do we build these solution-minded competencies within our students so that they can become solution-minded graduates. So through CDIO, we really do a stage approach, and every year we are building in these solution-minded competencies. The first year, okay, we have our introduction to engineering in business. Introduction to engineering and design, and that's our module that all our first-year students in my school will undertake, and they fulfill the CDIO standards, as well as the key thing is they really help the students to start thinking from the point of view of how do they solve problems, okay, by looking at come up with solutions by looking at the problems. So it is really about very simple design build projects that they have been given. They have very clear constraints, and through all this process, we also ask them to look at solving a UN SDG goal. So this gives them that framework of how to, or that frame in terms of how to solve the problem. They do it in team-based, so their team-based learning also comes in. And here you can see some of the learning outcomes that we hope to bring in through the students. So with all these through the CDIO approach, okay, that is the first step where we start that whole journey of building that solution-minded competencies within our students. And then they went into the second year. In second year, our students go through a microcontroller applications. Again, a very project-oriented kind of a module. And through this, they build on top of it, and they used their year one, first year foundation to build more complex projects. And currently, we are really making use of a microcontroller that is used widely in the industry, the STM32 from ST Micro. And again, we ask them to integrate the UN SDGs and Singapore's Green Plan into their solution. Okay, so here you see here on the right-hand side is an example of a MAPP on the microcontroller application project that one of the student groups have done, which is to solve flooding. Okay, so I can share with you all the videos later on if you are interested, but really the students came up with a way to ensure that when the flood comes, okay, there will be through the microcontroller to be able to bring up a block, something that can block the flood waters from entering into the compound. So you can see they look at the problem of flooding in Singapore, okay, and then through there, through the CDI approach to come up with the solution. Okay, so this is a story that maybe, let's see if I got time to share very briefly. Have you all watched the show Apollo 13? Yeah, so some of you all may have watched the show. So there's a scene within the show, okay, to cut the long story short, okay, it's about when the astronauts in Apollo 13 had to come back because of the incidents that have happened in the space shuttle, and they had problem coming back to the Earth. And one of the challenge that they have because of the delay in coming back was really that the oxygen filter that was on board the capsule was in need to be replaced. Okay, because the oxygen filter really do have a certain lifespan, and they had to find a way to use another different type of the oxygen filter, the CO2 filter, okay, to be able to replace what was originally being used. And the engineers on the ground, okay, had to come up with the solution and ideas of using all the different things that could be found in space, okay, where they were, in order to adapt, okay, that filter to be able to use for the purpose. So you can see in that scene, they took all the different items, and they were trying to fit them in together and then communicate them to the astronauts. So eventually that helped, and that saved the lives of the astronaut. Okay, so that's something that, again, using what is available, and through that, to be able to solve a problem that is really at hand. And the reason why I bring this up is this is really what we hope to do, okay, for us in Singapore Polytechnic when the students reach the third year, okay, or rather the second and the third year. Okay, after they lay all the foundations, okay, there are different opportunities that for our students to be able to apply again their solution-minded competencies in order to help to solve the problem. Okay, so these are 3 different modules or programs that the students can get to go through. The first one is the Sustainable Innovation Projects, where the students from different schools come together and to solve problem statements that come from the community, okay, that is in Singapore. So they spend 1 semester on this, the problem, and then come up with a prototype that you can share with the stakeholders. The second program that we have is we call the Learning Express. So this is an overseas version of the Sustainable Innovation Projects, where the students then go to a community that is in the region. So like Batam or in other parts of Indonesia, in Vietnam. And this Learning Express allows our students together with students from the overseas institutions to come together and to solve problems or some of the things that are identified within the community. And finally, our students in their third year do what we call a solutioning internship. So these are the 3 things, the areas that the students will get to embark on when they at the second and the third year of their studies. Okay, so this is an example of the Learning Express that I mentioned. And this project has been ongoing for many, many years, where the students went into this community in the Philippines, and what is actually happening in that community was that they were growing tomatoes, and many of the tomatoes, when the harvest is good, many of the tomatoes will be wasted because there is not enough demand for tomatoes. So when the students went in, they had an idea of turning these tomatoes into tomato jams. And that made it very successful, and over the many rounds of the projects, they were able to create more products. And right now in this community within the Philippines, they were actually setting up a factory to be able to produce these tomato-based projects. So I thought this is a good example of how, again, our students go in, apply CDIO, apply design thinking in order to solve a problem that is there. So this is how CDIO and when we call design thinking come into the picture, and where our Learning Express is part of, as well as our Sustainable Innovation Project is part of the whole process of helping build these solution-minded competencies within our students. So as we build on the CDIO process of conceive, design, implement, operate, the students also learn about design thinking, and this fits well into the conceive and design part of the process. And like I say, finally, this is where the students really have an acid test of how they build that competencies in solution-minded. In the third year, our students then will have a solutioning project or solutioning internship where they do a project in the companies that they are interning in. I think that's not also just unique in SP. I was told that even for Poly Batam, in their internship, they're also supposed to be doing a project. And I think this is something that we find very useful, because when the students are there, they are really helping the companies, okay, looking at a problem and see whether through CDIO, they are able to come up with a solution. So all our students are expected to do a solutioning project, a CDIO project, when they are in their final year doing their internship. So I won't go into the details of what are the various stages, but it is really something that to us, when the companies see what the students, the products or the solutions that the students have come up with, okay, and that's how it's really a testament of how solution-minded our students have become through the 3 years that we built on them. So again, this example of solutioning projects that was done by our students, I won't go to the details because the project is on showcase at the booth. We have students there. So if you are interested, you can go there and understand from the students how they come up with a solution for inspecting a plane external, okay, through video analytics and drones. So as I mentioned, the idea was to really see how our students perform in the environment of the industry. And just now, like what Minister was talking about, that's really where the acid test, and that's what it means about producing graduates that is relevant to the industry. And the industry provides this authentic learning for our students. And here, I'm just going to show you some results of surveys. Every semester, we will do surveys with the companies to find out from them how much value they see in our students. So the first set of results, we asked the companies, how has the students or the interns contributed to them? Okay, so you can see here, for many of the companies, okay, when there are responses, these are the main contributions that our students have given in terms of either improving of a system and a process through the project that they are doing, or they are improving an existing product. Okay, some of the students even created some research and study that the company used in order to, again, eventually develop new products or new services. So you can see here, there are many, many different values that the companies are able to get out of our students as they apply the solution-minded process through CDIO. Again, we also want to know whether how much savings, how much in terms of manpower, in terms of cost that companies is able to get when they take in our students. So we have a set of questions on that. And finally, we also ask them, okay, because it's really back into whether they will take in our students either as employees or continuing to take interns from Singapore Polytechnic. So you can see here that many of the companies will want to recommend our students for full-time employment. And the results here is also bearing in mind the fact that many of our students, after they graduate, some of them may not stay with the company because many of our male students have to do national service. So they still have to spend 2 years in the army as national service. But even with that in mind, many companies are willing to take in our students or we even wait for them to finish their national service. Okay, so yeah, because of time, I will have to end off with this. But I really hope to journey together with every one of us. I think this whole idea of building solution-minded students and eventually solution-minded graduates or engineers is something that it is important in the light of what is happening in the world out there. And we are committed to continue to learn and to evolve in this space. We look forward to collaborations. We look forward to know that, among us, there are many institutions. Perhaps what you are doing in your institution, in your programs, actually has that aspect of building these solution-minded competencies within your students. And we value all these diverse approaches. I know definitely for Poly Batam, you have done even the project-based learning. It's part of building these solution-minded students. And we want to really eventually focus, the key thing is we want to prepare our students so that they are future ready, okay? So that they are able to meet the challenges that are out there in the industry. able to solve problems, to bring value to the industry, and to bring value to the community that they are in. So I really do welcome more exchanges, more learnings from one another. And with that, I want to invite you all to the afternoon session. As I mentioned, there are many things that we can discuss and we can talk about following this. So in the afternoon, during the round table, I have one session that I hope through that session to really solicit learnings, and we can have a more in-depth exchange of what does it mean to build solution-minded students, to build solution-minded graduates. So yeah, with that, I will end off my talk today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Dr. Lim. Give a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, Dr. Lim. We can have a seat here. Okay, just to sum up some few key takeaways from Dr. Lim presentation, we'll just take several notes. First is that Singapore Poly is polytechnic for all ages, that Singapore Poly is doing the PET and CET, pre-employment training and continuing education training. It is solutioning for the workforce and how to the employees still continue to become relevant to industry. And other point is Dr. Lim said that the world of work have been many change due to artificial intelligence, skill-based economies, lifelong learning, remote collaboration, multidisciplinary work, and other things. It's harder to land a job even for our graduates also, and graduate for many university. So that Dr. Lim says that skills, technical skills will also have a shorter lifespan. So our students need to stay relevant. And I also take note that something important is humanity centered. So how to build solution-minded student to become solution-minded engineer that not only human-centered, also understand the impact of one's action into humanity. Also, Dr. Lim present how SP approach to doing this implementation of CDIO, binding with design thinking approach with first year and second year and also final year student project. Thank you very much. Now we give a floor for a question. If you have really burning question about Dr. Lim presentation, how Singapore Polytechnic, especially School of Electrical Engineering, approach to implement the CDIO implementation of curriculum and project-based learning for students, you can raise your hand and I will hand it the time for you. Please. Do we have? Okay. We have one. Can we have the microphone? Okay, for Mark also. And the third is from, oh, okay. Okay, three first. From Bu Lily.
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Lely again from Polytechnic Elektronika Negeri Surabaya. Thank you for sharing your experience as well as your insight, Dr. Lim. Thank you very much. First, I would like to applaud for the, the tagline of the Singapore Polytechnic to help the students not only to become a graduate that is ready for the workforce, but also for the life and also for the world. I think it is very great idea. Thank you for sharing that. And then my question is about soft skill. Actually, perhaps non-technical skills, right? In one of your slides, you put some non-technical skill there. One that piqued my interest is about lifelong learning. In terms of international accreditation, it is one of the key skills that always being asked. But my question as the lecturers is, how can we really measure whether our students have already achieved that skills? Because for others non-technical skills, such as teamwork or perhaps adaptability or communication skill, we can still use things like performance score. But for things like lifelong learning, I'm still a little bit confused about that. Can you please explain more about that? Or perhaps your experience about that? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. That's a quite tough question to answer. Yeah, it's something that has, I'm sure, bothered many of us on this. How do we know that we have built that lifelong learning skills? I can share from SP our experience. I think one of the things that we do is definitely allowing the students to know. So the question is about not just learning what they are taught, but the part about learning how to learn. Correct. Lifelong learning is about you are giving them the skills so that through life they can continue learning. So it's really about the learning of the skills of learning. So in SP, we do have another aspect. Okay, while I've been talking about solution-minded students, solution-minded graduates, another key another key quality that we are looking at in our graduates, which we have these graduates as attribute, is this part about self-directed learning. So self-directed learning is really about learning how to learn. And yeah, that's something that we can have more discussion how we do it. And yeah, you can talk to Helene. She will be able to share more. Yes.
So if I could just share, I'm actually doing a project in the institution to measure self-directed learning. So to me, self-directed learning is really the foundation of lifelong learning, yes? So my project looks at it in two ways. The first way is to use a validated questionnaire. So there are questionnaires out there, so we use the questionnaire and we validate it with our students first. Yeah, so that is one way, okay, to measure whether they are growing in different components of self-directed learning. The other way is to use learning management system data. How often do they click here, click there, click this? What does that tell you about their learning and their self-directed? So this is, the research still is trying to link the two. I self-report, I'm self-directed, and also my clicks in my learning management system. So that's what my project is now, okay? I can share with you more.
Thank you, Helene.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Next, we go to Prof. Mats, please.
Okay, thank you, Ju, for sharing your experience. I also like your slide, use what is available. You had the slides, use what is available. So I have a comment, not a question for you. So a comment is, often you can also reallocate what you already have. So in many universities, in many departments, in many situations, you are complaining that you don't have the resources. You are always looking for funds, you're looking for some more new things. But think about to reallocate what you already have. Use what is available. So it was a comment. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I think that's very important to always, so I think like what Matt was talking about, not just for our students, for ourselves, we have to think from that perspective, looking at what is available and creating solutions out of it. And resources definitely is always something that is limited within all our institution. Then we need to learn how to use all that is available there to create new solutions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Mats and Dr. Lee for the answer. Sorry, I will give first is the. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. The one with glasses. Yeah. Okay.
Hello. Thank you for your talk. My name is Marcus Samano. I work at Oyama College, National Institute of Technology in Japan. And I have a question about your programs abroad. So could you tell me a bit more about like what kind of programs your students are engaged in and how these programs are initially started? Thank you.
Sorry, which program do you?
Just in general, if you have any like standout programs you have in mind, would be nice to hear. I guess in general, I want to know how you reach out to these other schools to you start these kind of
Yeah, so maybe
collaborations?
I talk about our Learning Express program. So that's not just within our School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering. The Learning Express program is an institution, the whole Singapore Polytechnic program. And this is where we gather our students, those who are willing to go overseas. We will bring them to one of the communities. And the way that we do it is we partner with overseas institutions. And I think among us, there could be some are already our Learning Express partners. And that's where when we use the design thinking approach, the first part of the CDIO, C and D, the design thinking, the students learn about design thinking framework, SP's design thinking framework. We also train the overseas academics as well, and they train their students on this design thinking. And after that, when the students go over, they will group and partner with the local students within the local institution, and then they will identify some of the problems and challenges that are in the community. So like I mentioned just now, in Philippines, there was this farming community with tomatoes, excess of tomatoes, and then through design thinking to come up with some solutions that will help to solve the problem that are there. And I think through that, the students gain things like a global mindset. They are able to collaborate among different students with different background, both in terms of nationality as well as disciplines. And they are also able to create that empathy and understanding what are the solution, the problems, in order to come up with solutions that are in the context of the community. So I thought that's something that we are doing. So every time, the way that we usually start is then if the overseas institution are keen to partner with us, then we can have discussion. And that's where we have in Singapore Polytechnic, we have a Singapore Polytechnic International arm that will help to source for some of these collaboration opportunities. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Lim.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry to cut the time because we have next session, and we also still have Dr. Lim for the afternoon session for group 2. So if you want to discuss some more with Dr. Lim, we can have a really nice discussion of this afternoon with the group 2 of discussion. Okay, I think after all, that's all for my session. We will continue to the next session. Thank you very much for your attention. I am so sorry that I cannot facilitate all of the questions for this session. Thank you very much, and handing back to the MC.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Ahmin Tohari and Dr. Jugi Lim for the insightful discussion.
To Mr. Jogi Lim, please stay with us on the stage because we will be handling over the plaque. Now we would like to invite Mr. Hendawan Sobakti to hand over the plaque.
We are now ready to begin our special session 1. Our next speaker is Insinyur Fadli Hamsani, the GM Enterprise Solution Management at Telkomsel and Chairman of the Indonesian Industrial Digital Transformation Council. He will be speaking on advanced CDIO implementations, bridging industry needs with academic curriculum. And now we are privileged to have with us Ms. Dwi Kartika as our moderator for special session. Please welcome Insinyur Fadli Hamsani and Ms. Dwi Kartika Sari.
Welcome to Batam, Pak Fadli. Pak Fadli is the GM Enterprise Solution Management at Telkomsel, also Chairman of Indonesian Industrial and Digital Transformation Council. We're happy to have you here. We will have a balanced insight from Pak Fadli from the industry perspective to balance previously from Singapore Polytechnic. So we are happy to have this discussions. Okay. Can you start right away? Okay, sure.
Present? Okay, okay.
The slides? Is
Yeah.
the slides already there?
Can I have my slide? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Because I'm in Batam, I think it's mandatory to make a pantun, right? Ke Pantai Nongsa sambil bernyanyi, Ewa katanya. Mampir ke MB sarapan pagi. Mari bersinergi dan berinovasi menuju industri masa depan yang mandiri. So, thank you very much. I would like to, sorry if a bit quick to share about some point that I'm coming from industry. So I'm not coming from academia. Even I have the license to be a lecturer from Poly, Batam. So thanks Poly. So I get a lecturer for the professional, you know, they call the professional lecturers. Since I forgot already, it's a long time ago. I go around all the university in Indonesia, Poly and also the university, all the big five. And one time I ever also doing some lectures in the Cambridge University, UK for the center of the manufacturing in the UK. So here, is it work? This one? Okay. So first of all, I would like to share that I'm coming from industry. The ministry now is going to the one of the factory in Batam. The Schneider Electric is a French company that built the smart factory, the first smart factory in Southeast Asia that recognized by the World Economic Forum. And at the time, I'm the leaders for the digital transformation. And what is the very impressive? This kind of things, CDIO is implemented long time ago in the life, in my opinion. In my opinion, maybe it's not the framework, but in the reality, because at the time I have 21 internship students that helped me to build the smart factory that recognized by the World Economic Forum. And during the time, the McKinsey come and they look on all the internship students that work with me. What they're doing my job. They're doing a lot of things that that's coming from the pain point of the industry. So that's the reality. And I request to the lecturers, all the lecturers in Poly, come to the factory and say, look on these students, they make a job of the workers, they do the research, they do the project base, and we use that immediately. And, you know, I request to them also that please don't make my interns another exam. So this is the result. And you know now, some of them, from these 21 students that got the intern in Schneider at the time, some of them now is become the data scientists in Schneider Southeast Asia from Poly Batam. So that's the result of this program. So I'm also the technical advisors of the Ministry of Industry. I'm working in Telkomsel as a general manager enterprise customer business. So it's not only for the manufacturing, for mining, for oil and gas, financial business, retail, government. So all the vertical industry. And also as a certified technical advisors for the Ministry of Industry, Ministry of State-owned Enterprise, and also Ministry of ComDigi. ComDigi is the Ministry of Digital, Communication and Digital. And I'm leading the association, what we call the Indonesian Industrial Digital Transformation Council. And I love to work together with CDIO in the future. So we have a lot of industry that it's our members. So especially for Indonesia or for another country that want to work together with all the industry sector in Indonesia, we can work together. We know their pain point. We know they require to have the R&D support and etc. So it's really willing to work together. So I think that's the essential of this event. Okay, so I only have 20 minutes to present. First is, what is the CEO talk? I don't know whether the people in the university also try to understand what happening in the industry. What happening with us? I'm coming from industry. What happening? So everyone talk about the tariff. Everyone talk about the threat. War, trade war. Everyone talk about the AI, agentic AI, supply chain, uncertainty, and etc. That's the baseline. That should be the baseline why we have this program. There should be the baseline why the R&D, the research, the learning base, all these things should be matched with what's happening and what they talk about, what the CEO talk about. And what is the need? After we know what is the CEO talk about, what is our pain, what is the industry pain, and what is the trend? Is it real? This is the data from the Futures Job Report 2025 from World Economic Forum. So that's true. The AI, the robot, I just come back from China 2 days ago. Next week I will be in Shenzhen. So that's the reality. But honestly, we are very far as a perfect in the country, the ideal in the country, saying that, hey, we already on this stage. No. We have a lot of gap. We need the support from the university. We need the support from the academia. We want to have this need, the people who have the competency, not only in the knowledge base, but also on the hands-on to help all the vertical industry. That's the need. That's the gap. I will talk about the detail later on. But we in industry, we are really clear that we need to do the upskilling. The global teams, the global community, the World Economic Forum always saying about the upskilling, the reskilling. Who help us to do the upskilling, the reskilling? It should be the university. It should be the academician, because you know the framework. You have a framework to upgrade, to upskilling, the reskilling, and etc. Have another word: upskilling, reskilling, and shifting. Who make the employee, who make the next future employee, which is a student, to be ready, not only on the skill, but ready to shift. Because shifting is not easy. Upskilling, reskilling, we did a lot, long time ago, even in this country. But to do the reshifting, we need to prepare. Is it the student understand about the interdisciplinary? Is it they know about this vertical when I go to the manufacturing? After that, in the meantime, I should go for the mining industry. Is it they know the value proposition? They know the value chain? I don't think so. So sometimes when we know that the need of industry itself, then we can make a framework. The human-machine frontier, if we look on that, the adoption of technology isn't the reality. So globally, it's increasing a lot. And in Indonesia, every year, minimum I made 1,500 industry. Minimum 1,500 industry. Doing the consultation, doing the solutioning, doing the conference, visit their factory, visit the banking industry, visit the retail industry. All of them start to adopt the technology. But, you know, honestly speaking, they still require very long journey of the learning curve. Why? Because the graduate student, honestly speaking, the graduate student is not really perfectly ready. So this is not the fault of academia, also not the fault of the industry. This is something that we need to make as a policy. So I'm coming from the government perspective later on. If we look on this, we know the top fastest growing skill. We understand. I'm sure all the people coming from the university, from poly, we talk a lot about the AI and big data. But what we teach the student, which AI, which big data, is it for small, medium enterprise? Is it for the mining industry? Is it for the manufacturing industry? And how about this very specific situation and condition on the country? Is it we aware that the manufacturing is almost 20% is for our GDP? Is it we aware that the mining or energy is almost 10% of our GDP? Is it we aware when we build the competency, when we prepare the student, they will go to this industry because this industry giving a lot of percentage of the GDP of the country. And how about the level of on the vertical? Is it we understand very well what kind of the vertical industry that or the sector that we want to focus on? So that's a lot of question when we look on how we want to do this kind of the program. I try to understand the CDIO. We have this advanced CDIO, embedded emerging tech, multidisciplinary, industry commentary. When I'm in Batam, 15 years, I'm doing the lectures for 2 or 3 university and poly in Batam, also in vocational school. But is it all the industrial expert, they willing to do this or they know about this need? The answer is no. So by this kind of program, I'm very happy to be here and to give some input that this program should be engaged a lot of industry expert. And the industry expert, they're coming from different vertical industry. And especially for Indonesia, then we need to focus on the university or the poly that coming on this event today is a part of the CDIO members of Indonesia. It's very important to specify or categorize which kind of the industry expert and which kind of the sector industry and what kind of the CDIO subsidiary program later on to accelerate the adoption and acceptance in the industry itself. I think some question is raised just now when the Pak Lim is presenting. It's not only about the technical skill. It's about the collaboration. It's about the sustainability mindset. It's about the digital literacy. In Indonesia, I go because of my job. I go from Papua to Aceh, and I meet the industry. I go and meet not only the very big company, not only the multinational company, but also meet the small, medium enterprise. You can imagine, it's very hard. The gap is very far. My responsibility in Telkomsel to enable the internet for them. My responsibility to give the digital literacy. We can say that, hey, you can learn, just open the internet, you can learn everything from YouTube, from TikTok, from Instagram, Udemy, Coursera, or everything, LinkedIn. But then they said, hey, I have a difficulty, I don't have an access. After that, they said, hey, I learned already, but I don't have the use cases. You know, Batam is lucky. It's a lot of industry. If you go for Flores, if you go for another part of Indonesia, but we have a university there. We have a poly. So this kind of program need to identify how we can help the different maturity level of student, different the maturity level of industry to make it the program is really can adapt and adopt with all the segment that we want to target it. What is the gap between the academic and the curriculum? What is the gap? This is very honest, very honest. Long time ago, I'm part of the vocational and support also to build the curriculum for Industry 4.0 with the Ministry of Industry. Under Ministry of Industry, because I'm technical advisors of Minister of Industry, so we make for all their poly, we make the curriculum focus on the for the 4.0 things is for 4 years back. And of course, all the graduated students for them absorbed by the industry because they are coming from the schools is owned by the Ministry of Industry. But how about others? How about coming from all others, poly and university? We still have a gap. The curriculum today, is it really is a match with what industry need? That's the first question. And to be agile, is it today the university or poly policy by the government allowed to make it agile? There's a question. So I think we need to push. That's why, in my opinion, the government need to be there. And the government need to help also to make some policy or regulatory, as a regulatory body to help this situation. The limited exposure to the real project. I love to see Palim just now mentioning some projects coming from some industry. I can tell you, I have a database of industry in Indonesia that they have a lot of pain point. And you know, they're required to have a solution. Normally, if they can meet this kind of the very respective people that want to help the industry, they will solve the industry. They will solve their pain point. They will solve the problem. I can tell you they have a money because it will be part of their revenue to solve the pain point. But they don't know. I talked to Pak Didi just now. How many industry know this program in Indonesia? So we need to measure. And honestly speaking, like what I said to you, is the real. We want to know the industry will make all the list of the pain point, and then the university will have all the list of the pain point, and also make a research and solve the problem. That's the need. Lack of interdisciplinary integration. I think that's something that, in fact, in the reality, in industry, we're still facing this issue. The last one, last not least, assessment method. How to measuring. Sometimes, I meet the student, and when they go to the industry, they want to help. They want to make an exposure, doing some extraordinary. Then after that, they said, Pak, Bu, I have a difficulty because I need to make a report to my university, my campus, because if not, then they will not measure me as a good student. That's also something that we need to be aware. How this kind of program really not really using the framework to have the very good framework to help the student to make it them easy also when they go on this kind of the program. How and what we see, I think is the link between the academia and industry is very important. And today, when I look on some growth country, they put in their industry, they put a lot of R&D. In fact, today, in Indonesia especially, it's not like that. A lot, I can say to you, almost 70% of local industry in Indonesia, they don't have very specific, strong R&D team. They don't have. Because they think that it's not their core. They don't want to invest. So that's normally the opportunity. So why not the university make the lab in the industry? They want to spend the money and to help the real pain point of industry itself. And that's what they require. The practical collaboration model that I look in Indonesia start to have, but it's not massive at this time, co-creation curriculum. The second one, internship, but with the credit system. Number three is a hackathon. Every year, a lot of industry support by the government, sometimes they're doing the hackathon. But again, the hackathon is not only for the reward, but to solve the problem. And again, the research and all the information that university or poly they make, sometimes industry feeling that it's too high. Normally what we require is this one. That's again the matter that we need to look back. The last not least, joint supervised project. That's why I think it's very important to understand the use cases. This is some use cases in the one of the university in Indonesia. I think it's, maybe some of them also is coming from ITS. So it's really real. The subject, the problem is coming from the industry. I think it's the same use cases also that Pali mentioning. But the point that I want to say is they still required to have a lot of kind of things that supporting the industry and collaborate with all the stakeholders. I think I have another 2 slides. One, how and what is the key enablers for this one. The first is the partnership. How many of the university or poly, they partnership with some of the industry that not famous enough. Sometimes the university and poly, hey, I want to partnership with Telkomsel because it's a big name. Unilever, Schneider, Rexroot, Festo, and others. How about the 60% of industry, which is maybe they are not well known? And normally, big company like Schneider, Festo, or Panasonic, they already have the R&D. And that's, again, my focus is to help the country. My focus is to growth, like what ministers mentioned, we need to grow 8%. We need to help industry entity that required to help. So partnership between academia and industry, flexible curriculum policy, I mentioned already, faculty training in emerging technology, access digital lab and digital platform. I think I listen also I think Mrs. also mentioned about the LMS, learning management system. Is it in industry today they have the LMS? I can say maybe 5%. But they require to have. Schneider they have long time ago because they are a multinational company. Again, this best practice need to be massive. This best practice need to be collaborate together. How we measure? How is the graduate today? Is it they absorbed by industry? How about the employer? Like all the industry, is it they are happy? Are we measure? How about the student itself? Is it their competence with their competency is updated? How about the growing of industry? Is it the industry in your area, in your province, in your city is grow? If they grow, means that this program is success. Last, from me, I think this is what we need to do. From the academician, we need to open our classroom to the real industry problem. For the industry itself, we need to invest also. Sometimes, like what I said, it's not to pointing the fingers to say this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. But in industry also, sometimes they need to shaping the futures. They need to invest the time. They no need to say only look on the business now, but they need to look on the sustainability of the business itself. The last, the student. The student normally also need to be proactive because if not, the only some student they can absorb and get the ideal benefit of this program. Some of them, they don't understand why they should use this kind of the program. I think that's all what I can share in this particular time. Thank you very much. The point that I'm really love to have on this event, and I hope I can give in some contribute also for the CDIO, especially in Indonesia, and maybe also in the region, because my association, we work a lot with all the vertical industry. So we are Indonesian Industrial Digital Transformation Council. We work with the government. We make some policy. We make some standardization. We love to understand what CDIO also can bring this in national impact together with industry players in Indonesia. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for this insightful presentation from Mr. Fadli. And I invite any question from the participants. 1, 2. Okay, I have to limit questions because Pak Fadli has a flight to catch. So maybe only 2 for now, please.
Thank you very much for a very interesting and insightful points, I would say, to enhance the industry and academia linkages. I'm from Pakistan. I'm working in an engineering university for the past 12 years. And we have been focusing on enhancing the industry academia linkages. So I want to share some of the perspective and some comments from my side. Firstly, like the reason I'm here is to enhance my understanding for how I can improve the output of engineering. And that is basically that the students, they are well prepared to be serving in the industry, right? I mean, that is the reason. So one challenge is that most of the academicians in Pakistani universities, as well as I think that I do know of, even in USA, in some of the universities, the academicians who are maybe lecturers or assistant professors, they directly graduate from a university and they get a job. Like in USA, the trend is that if you are a graduate of a top 100 QS rank universities, you can get a job of assistant professor in a relatively lower rank QS rank university. So I'm not talking about Pakistan, I'm talking about USA. That those academicians or those faculty members, they have then to prepare the engineers to address these issues. Like one thing that you said was that we have to co-opt the industrial stakeholders in the projects that we are giving to students, right? And these projects, they have to be supervised by the academicians who don't have the industrial experience and exposure. That is one thing, and it's there in the US, it's significantly a bigger problem in Pakistan. So how we are addressing it, there is no direct solution, but indirectly we are assessing it through maybe requesting the industry. The government is not involved because obviously the government, whatever their agenda is, there has to be some financial backing for it. There has to be some funding for it. So if they have to develop some industry academia linkage centers, they have to hire people for that, then they have to invest on it. So that is of course a big challenge for a developing country like Pakistan. So we have to focus on industry academia linkages on our own. So that is the first challenge. Secondly, the motivation of students to get involved in industrial project is also not that much from this aspect. The reason is that when they go to industries and they go and they do these projects which we give them, the industry is not that much flexible to share with them or to get them involved. Because for instance, I had an experience working in a fertilizer industry that was ExxonMobil. They make fertilizers. I worked there for 1 year. So they have a predefined steps for everything, and they are very safety critical steps. So students, they can't just go there and, be part of them. So they are not very open. They are comfortable in their own environment. So these are few challenges. I mean, I could give a whole talk on it maybe sometime later, but these are just my take on this. And we are struggling with it. We have our own issues and we have our own challenges, but let's see where it goes.
Thank you very much. So maybe I would like to give some comment on that point. First, it's really as an industry practitioner, we are thinking about the value. If you come and doing your research to our industry and you said, hey, I will help you, I'm doing my research here. We're thinking that, hey, why this guy is coming to here and you're asking me a lot? You're not helping my pain point. You want to prove your research. You see the difference? So please come to industry saying that, hey, what is your problem? It's not about my research. It's about your problem. I think this is the CDIO program. So you come to my industry due to you want to help my pain point, which is I don't have the knowledge, which is I don't have the value. You have the value. You come and help. So I can guarantee you the local industry in Indonesia will give you the red carpet. Because you come and help them. I no need to pay. Who pay you? The research program. To help what? To solve the problem. And you can make this, you can put this in Scopus or whatever, the research platform to say, hey, I help this industry. This is the real problem. And I can save. How many billion you want to save? How many percent you want to save? That's the value. To identify and understand that the university is coming is not because I'm an academic and I have a research, I have this program, I want to prove my research in your industry. That's wrong. Sorry to say it. Normally, you need to ask them, hey, what is your problem? Don't care about my research. Hey, I have this pain point. Then, I use my knowledge, I have a research, that I will prove my research to help this industry, this company, using my skill, using my competency. That's the first one. That's the first one. The second one is about the engagement. It's about the engagement. I believe everything's required to have a policy, required to have a regulation. Is it when I talk a lot with the Minister of ComDG, Minister of Industry. I said, Pak, Bu, are you sure you want to help this country to all the stakeholders is not bringing their ego? And I said, hey, they need to understand. They need to understand. This is for us, especially in Indonesia. I think we're same. And the point is it also in the university when you, as a professional in the university, spend at least, let's say, three months, flip-flop, it's not 3 months full-time. In the university, try to identify, solve the problem by all the methodology and everything. Is it the university give you the allowance, the times to do this? So that's also the things, right? But if you ask me, as an industry practitioner, as a government stakeholder, because I'm a technical advisor of the ministers, I said, hey, we need to do this. We need to do some disruption. We need to embrace the difference. We need to customer-centric. We need to learn every day. This is the core value that not everyone have this mentality, the mindset. This is what we need to push to our students to say that, hey, please, you come to the university as an internship. You register as internship only in the university. In industry, you are not internship. You are a worker. Right? Because if I treat them as an internship, and if I treat you when you come to the industry as a researcher, then I will say, hey, don't share this information. Don't share this information. Because everything is not for me, it's for you. So what I want to say in the short is about the core value. If you know that what is the value want to add, and we know what is the value that they are missed now in the users, then they will open. I can guarantee you. Even if you want to make your research support the local industry in Indonesia, I will open some industry for you. Because the industry still have a lot of pain point. And they require the expertise from the university to help them. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Another question, please, over here. Last questions.
Yeah.
Until what time?
First, thank you for the excellent presentation. And you are highlighted the advances CDIO. And my question for you is the data you saw on the slides already so clear shift to AI. And my question is, in your opinion, how university can move beyond the teaching about AI and effectively teach students how to use AI to traceability as fundamental professional skills? Thank you.
I'm sorry, name and from?
My name is Quang from University, Vietnam.
Vietnam. Thank you very much for the question. I love the question. Is how the university or poly can make the curriculum, the methodology, everything that really match with what we require, what we need in industry. Ask the industry to go to the university and spend the time of the university people go to industry. Then you will know very well. I'm coming from industry. But I'm 15 years in company. We have a factory in Vietnam, Schneider at the time. So I visit the factory. And you know, I'm a teacher in the vocational school in Indonesia, in Batam. 7 years I'm a teacher. Saturday. University, I teach in the university. And also I am a lecturer in Poly, Batam. So as a practitioner, I really know what's happening. You know, 2010, I bring already the VR to my technical school, to my school, for the vocational school student. It's before the COVID situation, you know, before the metaverse is very famous. I already bring this. Why? Because I know that it's the need in industry. And if you think about the AI, everything, I think it's the first, we need to understand the macro. In your country, what kind of the sectors that very impacted to the country? Like what I said in Indonesia, 20% GDP is coming from manufacturing. So please, university, poly in Indonesia, if you can graduate the very best student, they can work on the manufacturing, they can grow, and then the country will be growth. The 8%, what the minister mentioned, will be achieved. Because the GDP, 20% is coming from the manufacturing. So we need to understand first, what is the sector that we need to focus on? Agriculture, manufacturing, mining, or what? So once you teach the AI for the retail, AI for the manufacturing, AI for the mining is different, right? So then after I learned this, okay, you can say to me the core basic is same, right? Then the student need to do again, then some adopt the industry behaviors, everything. That's true, but again, the learning curve is too long, and we lose the game. We are not the front runner. So the idea of this program is we are very specific after. You need to know very well which sector in this country that you want to focus on. After that, when you teach the student, now you need to interdisciplinary, like what I said. Even you are poly, then you know the manufacturing is the country GDP promote. Then you need to understand the value chains of the manufacturing. Then on your subject AI, you need to teach them on the production maybe, on the warehouse maybe, on the, I go to Poly, the smart warehouse, the example of the Singapore Poly. So, see, they focus on this because a lot of hub and the warehouse in Singapore. So they focus to make the smart warehouse on the university, on the Poly, because they know what is the country required to have. And again, I'm always saying that sometimes you need to make a class on the industry. That's, I guarantee, in Indonesia, I can guarantee 1,000 industry, they welcome to you to come to give the lecturers, or you bring your student and ask what kind of the AI required on this particular industry, and you teach them and teach and follow the required, the demand on the reality of industry itself. The last not least, please, seeing on the level of the maturity. Industry level maturity is a very diversity. Some industry is very small, medium enterprise. Some industry is a medium. Some industry is large. Some industry is multinational company. If you teach the multinational company for the AI, I don't think so you're required to teach them. They will do it. No need to help them even. Because they're smart enough. They have the global company that coming from the Silicon Valley and etc. But you look on the medium size. And you identify what is their pain point on the human, on the process, on which kind of the value chain that they require. So you will teach the right AI, the right kind of the emerging technology that required by the country. So that will be helpful, Pak. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's the last question. So let me summarize before we conclude this talk. Pak Fadil mentioned about that CDIO connects classroom innovation with real industry impacts, and that the CDIO impact should be felt by employers, graduates, as well as collaboration with growth. I think that's it. So let's give a round of applause for this exquisite talk. Thank you so much, for, Pak Fadli. And I'll give it back to Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dwi Kartikasari and Insinyur Fadli Hamsani for the insightful discussion. To Insinyur Fadli Hamsani, please stay with us on the stage because we will be handling over the plaque. Now, we would like to invite Mr. Hamdani Ari, the chairman of CDIO IRM, to hand over the plaque.
We will now take a short break and networking session for 5 minutes.